Welcome back to the garden, and as you can see, I'm picking tomatoes again. They're coming out like crazy. Tomatoes did by far the best. I mean, we planted mostly tomatoes in the kitchen garden, but they're just doing so well. As you can see, literally for every ripe one, there's 10 behind it that are going to ripen. And it's exciting to see. I mean, we haven't had to buy tomatoes since they started coming out, and we've actually had to give some away and sell some. We've just been getting that many. And this is produced off such little effort of watering. Once the system was set up, it's pretty easy to get going. There's Lori playing with the cat. The tomatoes have been doing very well. This is just a small example of how well they've been doing. And I'd also like to show a little bit of the diversity in the garden. Look at that spider. Proof of how diverse this system is getting. And with more diversity, you bring in more poop, you bring in more predators, you bring in more ways to keep your system balanced. This cat right here came from one of the neighbors, I believe, and just hangs out now all the time at the garden and eats mice and rats, helps us keep the numbers controllable. This kale looks beautiful. It tastes really good too. I'd like to also show you guys some plans for the future just quickly here. In this big open field, we'd like to start a food forest of mainly pine trees, maybe some nut trees and whatever fruit trees we can get to grow up at this altitude and this temperature zone. So this will be the space for it where we're going to start, and we've got the go ahead to go and start that next year. As you can see, pine trees already do well here on their own. No one's planted or watered any of these. They just take care of themselves. So we're catering to what works well in this area, plus something we can eat. This area over here I'd like to work on too. It's already starting to try to become a forest, so I'd like to help that along and once again bring in species that we can eat. Next, I want to show you how the forest that is already here is working. First thing you'll notice is the diversity of plants that are covering the ground and protecting the soil. Diversity is important because each plant takes a different thing from the air and brings it into the soil, and also exchanges different things with the soil. And provides different nutrients once it dies into the soil. So all this diversity is important, and it also is important to cover the soil so that there's no erosion, so that there's no moisture loss, because even in the hottest days of this year when there was no rain, it was just as green and lush in here. Here's the creek where it all started. This is where we used to get buckets of our water from. If you'll notice, it's naturally oxidizing the water with different leveling systems. And even under the trees, the soil is completely protected. They mulch and almost feed themselves by dropping all these branches, leaves, and debris, and it goes into the soil. The soil organisms break it all down and then exchange with the root systems of the tree to feed the tree. It's one of the ways to keep a stable environment is to not waste anything. And if you notice in the forest, anything that gets dropped just gets eaten and put back into the forest. So it's very important for us to attempt to mimic this system and use the principles of not wasting anything that nature uses. And if we do that, we get large abundances like you see. And it's very easy to do. And all it takes is a little bit of effort, a little bit of correct planning, and you can do this too. Thanks for watching.